All right, so today again, Gabby Okyere is in the news. Now, this apparently, is the family member of the president, Nana Akufo-Addo. Each and every time, it's more like the old one out of the Akufo-Addo family members, because at the end of the day, not all say Nima, but or you'll be a very loud mouth. Let me rephrase it well. He's very outspoken. Let me use that word. It's on your gentle sir, and on social media, Facebook, Twitter. He says it all. He says his mind. If you don't understand him, please take him to court. Now today he's trending, especially on Twitter. He's been roasted all because of a comment or this particular comment, are generating a lot of buzz and controversy. Now recently he was on Star Chat with Bolare, and he was asked a simple question: why is it that the president has a lot of family members in his cabinet? And the response that he gave has shocked Ghanaians. In fact, many who can say there's a newspaper in Ghana, they reported the thing as if, or perhaps in a way, out here, you will not even want to hear the name Gabby Okyere again. But then the day we have the video, so you hear what the newspaper said and you hear what Gabby Okyere said. At the end of the day, still people are pissed because it kind of sounded the same thing just as Gabby Okyere said it, but in a more reasonable tone. But before that, this is what the Daily Inside newspaper this is what they posted. I say, our grandfather was sensible enough to educate all of his grandchildren. So all of us are well educated. That is why Akufo-Addo appointed a lot of his family members into his government. So this is what the Daily newspaper, the Daily Insights is saying. That's the Daily Insights online.com. If you also they were down on Gabby Okyere defends his uncle Akufo-Addo's family and friends government. So clearly, the newspaper, the Daily Insights, clearly went on head with Gabby Okyere, saying his comments really kind of most Ghanaians and those who are able to get a quality and even affordable education like what he and his family members enjoyed. Now before then, a video of what he really said, they've twisted his words, because definitely NDC for the this particular video in some more kind. We continue.
I mean, that's the point. But I'll still stay with you on that, because there are also families or blocks that also were educated.
But they are in government. They are CEOs of public and private institutions. They are all over the place. So I'm just making the point that I don't know how many of you in this room have a grandfather who had over 100 children. I did. Okay, how many did your grandfather have?
Well, I recollect maybe about 7 or
about
8.
7.
Yes.
Oh, he didn't have strength. But
oh, really?
No, a Bema.
Yeah.
So really, that's the point I'm making. Okay, but he was serious about his children's education, and because they grew up in a household where public service came as second nature, a lot of them went into.
But that's where people have problems. They say yes, they might be there, but look at other families as well.
But
bring them in.
No, okay, let me tell you.
Look at other people as well. Bring them in so that
No, but you make it seem as if they look, cabinet. How many ministers are there? How many ministers are related to Akufo-Addo? Tell me, how many ministers are related to Akufo-Addo?
That's the core of government.
I'm asking you, how many ministers are related?
Well, I know the roads minister is in there.
I'm listening. Go on.
Yes, the finance minister is in there.
I'm listening.
And who? I think top of mind, that's what I can recall. That
the road minister is not related.
He's not, but he's an achim as well.
Yes,
but people will bundle it up.
He's an MP.
Yes.
He was the coordinator of the president's campaign in the Eastern region. And because they got education early at a time that just a minority of Ghanaians were getting education. It gave them.
This is what exactly dear Gabby Okyere said. Regardless what he said, it seems like he was really mocking the multitudes of Ghanaians who were able to get affordable education, quality one that he and his uncle Akufo-Addo enjoyed. But regardless, he said, and he explained the people who are even related to Akufo-Addo in his government, they are not even numbering up to 15. So if they are qualified, why not? And before then, the conversation was really spanned. They spoke about a whole lot of things in CMP. So in question in some Gabby Okyere or generate a whole lot of controversy on social.
A powerful person is one who takes decisions. who can make things happen. Someone with influence will try to persuade. But at the end of the day, okay, the responsibility is not with me.
And I tell
it's
you,
with the person who takes the decision.
When I brought
those, that's the person with the power.
When I brought those investors to you, I said, okay, we're all Ghanaians. Gabby, you could look at it how you can say, well, I'll try. I'll try and see it. But that was influence. You didn't have the power to make it happen.
But I connected you to where you have to go. At least that's the best. But you made a case. It's not because you came and said these are the people.
That's right.
And the influence that I have, maybe I managed to arrange a meeting for you to do another conversation.
So that's what it means. That is what people also say, that, well, Gabby has shares in this company. He's into the oil business. He runs the Ministry of Energy of the point. When you hear some of these things and you say, well, you don't have the power to be in there, what is your relationship in there, especially with the Ejapa deal? Tell us today, Gabby.
You know, the was it I think I bumped into John Mahama one day, and he was saying to me that I'm suffering what his brother was suffering.
Ibrahim Mahama.
Well, I didn't mention any names. You know, but you know I don't know. You know, I run everything. I don't even know where the cabinet office is. I know he's on the 3rd floor. I've never been near it.
You've never been in a cabinet meeting?
Oh,
but there are rumors that sometimes you sit at cabinet.
I have no place there. And you know, sometimes when I go to visit my cousin, maybe around 11, you know the president? He leaves his office not earlier than midnight.
Midnight?
I'm telling you. He leaves his office normally after 1 a.m. Okay? So when I finish, and you know, when I finish work, I usually leave my office maybe after 10, maybe 11. Yeah. It's, you know, the people criticize you there, that time they are asleep. Okay? Leave my office, and then I'll go and visit him. Another time, we don't even talk about anything. It's just, you know, just talk, because they spend the whole day meeting people, talking business stuff. You know, it's just because you've
never influenced the president. Okay, put this minister here. I want this person on this board. You don't do that.
Then I should have put you on the board.
Wow.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is that, yes, when you are close to someone, you can share your opinion with that person. And the person expects you to share your opinion with them if you have an opinion on something, and if they respect your opinion. But the final decision is what? Is the one who bears the car.
People said you were involved heavily in the Ejapa deal. What is the truth?
But it's obvious my involvement in the Ejapa deal.
Yeah, I mean, they said that you had shares, or you were, it was a family and friends thing.
Saying,
what is the situation, Gabby?
But you know, so why?
No, we're on radio, and we want to know what the truth is, with all the rumors that are circulating, Gabby.
But I mean, but you know that my firm was contracted, and it wasn't the only law firm. Okay, there are a lot of things that we do that doesn't become, you know, controversial, because there are things that law firms do, and we do that all the time. Okay, we worked on the document that eventually became the Minerals Income Investment Fund Act.
MIF.
Yes, we're contracted with 2 other law firms, and all worked on it. Okay, how come the other lawyers from the other law firms, you are not accusing them of having shares in the Japan, but you are accusing me? No, I'm just saying. You know, so it's as if, you know, because, and I wasn't even contracted by government.
Oh, you weren't contracted by government?
I was contracted by a consultant that has, because they know the work you do within certain areas, and they ask people and they ask you, and then you give an opinion on certain things, and I was contracted to do that for a consultant.
Not for government?
Not for government. But of course, the government paid the consultant, and we got paid. But my point is that our role in there was just to make sure they draft the laws, they draft the agreements along with 2 other law firms, and that was the extent of our involvement. And how can any individual or entity own or have shares in an entity that was 100% owned by the government okay, before the government takes it to London stock market to sell shares. So when they went to the London stock market, where was I? Was I at the London stock market waiting to buy my shares or to just take my shares?
So clearly with the Japa deal, you got it through not the government.
My point is that even assuming the government appointed me, you are talking about having shares in it because I have a law firm, okay? All right? But it wasn't the government that appointed. But my point is that you are talking about shares. But government was going to float a percentage of the 100% it owns on the London stock market. How can that translate? Look, it happened, this Ajapa deal, or Minerals Income Investment Fund, had traveled through Parliament for 2 years. Indeed, the opposition even spoke more for it and made critical interventions in terms of the bill. Okay? Then sometimes than even the majority side. And there were no issues about it. But when they decided to go and float some of it to raise money 4 or 5 months before elections, hey, who could raise 750 million just before elections? That's when it became controversial. The bill was passed, I believe, in 2018 or so, or 2019. Nobody thought it was controversial. And everything that they were doing were in accordance with the Act and the sections of the Act that was duly passed by Parliament.
When you heard such stories, how did you feel?
I just feel that the Japan thing kind of hurt me a bit. But I just, sort of, because really, for me, being associated with such an innovative approach to raising money and being part of the value chain of gold, for me, I thought that was good for my firm. And it's something that we were going to celebrate, that yes, we were part of the lawyers that drafted this bill. And today, that Minerals Income Investment Fund, it is owning shares in lithium and the rest of it. It is contributing to even this gold for oil thing. They are wonderful things that they are doing. So yes, I'm proud of my involvement in that.
But you don't have
shares. But the politics is I'm saying it was just a timing. When they were going to float the shares to raise money, that's of course
blew it up.
Yeah, and you can have an opinion and say something is wrong or let's not, you are undervaluing it. But how do you don't value when you go the stock market now determine the value of the thing. That's how,
that is it for Ejapa, Gabby. Let's move to PDS. What was